Welcome back to another episode of Know Your Worth TV. I'm your host, Steve Frame Lozada, and welcome back. We do have another nominee in the building. If you guys have not been watching these, we're celebrating the second annual nominees. As you know, the Content Creators Experience is putting together a Spotlight Award happening June the 28th. Don't forget to go get your tickets because when you actually purchase your tickets, a portion of the proceeds are going to two different organizations. Filling Empty Wombs is one, and YoungDreamsCo.org is the other. And how cool is it not just to have a dope experience and see so many great individuals doing so many different things in the community, but also know that you're giving back into the community while you're purchasing your tickets. It's going to be a dope show. There's going to be so many people from so many different places. So make sure you go to contentcreatorsexp.com to go ahead and get your tickets today. However, this whole interview is about one individual person. It's Miss Tammy. How are you doing today, ma'am?
Hi, how are you, friend?
Good, good, good. Miss Tammy, I believe that this is your first interview. We're going to make it smooth sailing for you. It's going to
Okay.
be a wonderful experience. I promise you. We're just going to be, as always, in any interview, showing how we're really all so alike. We all have a story. And while people just so get caught up on our social media and what that looks like, that in reality, there's some things that we got to go through,
Yes.
right? But we have Miss Tammy in the building. Miss Tammy is a luxury specialist travel agent that she helps with weddings. She helps with destinations. If you want to go to Universal, she's located in Miami. But tell us a little bit more about why this business got started, and maybe something else that I missed when it comes to you being a travel specialist.
Yes, so I have been a travel consultant for almost 10 years now. I'm a mother of three girls and a wife. My husband was very intrigued by my entrepreneurial spirit and also encouraged me to, he was saying that my intelligence and my dedication could be going towards my own business. And at that time, I'm like, whatever. I was happy with what I was doing. And eventually, I started having friends and family question me, like, hey, where did you book this? How did you book this? They see the pictures. They're like, that's so much fun. And my husband said, you should look into that and see if you can do that as a business. I did some research, and lo and behold, I think, here I am today with, I will say, a quite successful business venture here.
Only getting started, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
For almost 10 years now. It's 9.5 years
Oh yeah, that's success.
this year.
Listen,
Yeah.
some people start a business and they can't last a year or two. So
No, it's
10 years
rough.
in.
It's very rough.
Yeah,
Trust
no, for
me. I
sure.
mean, within the first few months were great. I was booking like crazy. Then, you have a dead period. You're like, oh, am I doing something wrong? And, you feel like you're attracting the wrong people. It was hard, especially with 2020. That was my year. And 2020 really took me out. I got depressed. But I came back with a vengeance and tripled what I would have
Mm,
been doing for 2020. So, yeah.
yeah, that's good. You were able to sit down, pivot a little bit, figure out
Absolutely.
where you can really execute more of your time and things like that. Yeah, I'm happy to hear. I'm so happy to hear. What are
Thank
some of the challenges you've experienced starting a travel agency business?
Oh, most definitely with clientele. You tend to think, oh, my family and my friends that's always been there with me, partying with me, coming over for barbecues, they will support me. Um, Unfortunately, I would like to tell people that our entrepreneurs, please do not depend on those people to support you. They will most definitely try to weasel their way in. Can you give me a discount? They feel that they can get it somewhere else cheaper. To be honest, over 90% of my clients are not my family and friends.
Yep.
Once I started my business, those family and friends, once it takes up time and, speaking with coaches with how I should do fees, when I started implementing those fees, even at a discount for family and friends, they didn't want to pay. But I'm like, do you go to the gas station and ask for a discount? Do you go into the Gucci store and ask for a discount? So it was very challenging, and I had to put my foot down, and it hurt because I'm talking about in-laws and cousins and even close friends. And you know what? You lose one, you gain three, and
Yeah,
that's pretty much how I did.
I love it. I'm loving it. And people don't realize that entrepreneurship is really going to show a lot of true colors, right?
Exactly.
Not just in yourself and how much strength you have to keep going at the times that you're not getting any clients or that you don't want to do it, but really in family. Like you mentioned, there's so many people that want the free things, and it's like, listen, I'm trying to feed my family. But like, what you mean, so
Exactly.
anybody that's looking into entrepreneurship, I thought the same exact thing when I opened up my first business. I'm like, ain't none of my friends showing up, like, what's
Yeah.
going on? But then you
Yeah.
have some really loyal people that become like family at some point,
Yes,
because
they
the
do.
way that they actually support you. And in your case, have people that come back over and over and over to book through you?
Absolutely. One scenario was how they say the little young kids shoot your shot.
Yeah.
I did with a celeb, and they had their team reach out, and they booked their stuff through me ever since. So I cannot complain. Like, most definitely, I'm not the type. I'm very shy. So for me to just kid around and did it, and someone actually reached out to me, and they refer their friends and family and colleagues as well. So yeah, that most definitely. Whew.
Nice. I love it. And was that kind of your motto on starting the business? Just shooting your shot, getting into the DMs, getting uncomfortable?
Honestly, no, because I thought, okay, I started a business. My family and friends are going to book with me. They're going to send people, and I'm going to be fine. After a few months of like crickets, I said, all right. And then that's when Instagram started popping with, now you're starting to see other people feeds, travel and stuff.
Mhm.
So that's when I'm like, all right, wipe the sweat, jumped in those DMs or jumped on the comments. And that's exactly how I built up my,
Wow.
to be honest.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to do things that you don't do normally, right? You trying to start a
Exactly. Go
business, you
out of your
really got to
comfort
get
zone.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
You got to go out
Uh,
of your comfort zone.
is this your full time? This is what you're doing full time?
Actually, I still kind of dabble part time in the dental field. Kids, do not do what I did. I am a dental school dropout. So every now and then, like 2 days a week, I will still go and slap some braces on some people or do some cleanings. But typically, yes, this is pretty much my full time. I am up, maybe first thing in the morning, 5 in the morning, checking those emails till maybe 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I
Now,
don't know, because I'm so into with the quotes, with answering the emails, with looking these things up, and I lose track of time. And yeah, pretty much it
no
is.
worries. Respect to that, because a lot of people that have a business probably have something on the side as well. Even though
Mhm.
we see a lot of people thinking like, oh yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, and they throw that at you, but it's like, okay, it's not bad to say that you got to still provide for your family,
Oh
right?
no,
You
yes,
still got to provide. At the end of the day, you got
absolutely.
to provide your family, whatever, however you do it. So that's
Listen,
why I respect that
2020
you're very
showed me.
honest.
I was like, let me just keep something on the side just in case
Yeah.
the world wants to act up again.
Yep, yep. And not only that, it allows you some additional income when you want to take your families on vacation and you gotta do some
Absolutely.
additional things. We try here trying to make it
Absolutely.
like, and that
Yes.
goes back to the families that don't see, right? Your friends and family don't see, like, listen, I'm still gotta do what I gotta do and start this business. Like,
Yes.
I got
Yes.
extra bills
Scared
now.
money don't make money. So I
Yeah,
have to I
yep,
have to
yep.
keep trying to generate, because there are times it's slow. And if I don't, basically, if my clients don't take their trip, I don't get paid. So I can give you the quote, you can do whatever. But if they do not take that trip and do not, and I don't get paid until they return.
Mm,
So let's say
wow.
I have tons of events booked for next year, but I'm not going to see that money until next year. So I have to
Wow.
be logic of
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll have small bookings here and there, last minute bookings for, now, but what else can I have to keep bringing in some type of income? Because yes, my husband's a great provider, but I used to be single. So I'm used to having my own and I'm used to working. So that is the main reason why I still kind of keep
Mm-hmm.
that other thing on the side there too.
Well, I didn't know, in a sense of you being a travel provider like yourself, that that's what it entails, right? You don't get paid until the person actually
No,
travels.
we don't. And and this goes for anyone. It doesn't even have to be with me. You have a friend that's in the industry. Um, think about it. When you book these things online, when you go through the cruise agencies, you're still paying that fee that an agent can receive, or a friend that is an agent can receive. You're helping your friend's business. You're helping that business, because regardless of whatever you see how the breakdown is, you are still paying that fee. So you just paid a fee to plan your whole trip.
Mm-hmm.
So why not get with someone that's a professional that can give you the ins and outs? Maybe some things that you've missed. Myself, I'm specialized in a lot of different countries, different resorts. I go to these places. When you see me post, truly wish I can tell you I was on vacation. I am not. I am working. I am going to do what they call site inspections and meeting with the local government officials and the managers of these resorts, and so on and so forth. So it goes in, a lot of work goes into it. So when you go and call and, may I have a quote, and I'm like, look, I have to charge for a quote, because people would take that and run off and try to plan it themselves, and that's all the hard work you put in to try to
Mm-hmm.
plan something special and give them that cultural experience, that foodie experience, and you don't get paid for it.
Yeah. Wow. Tell me what it looks like beginning to end. If I email you, what does that process look like?
So, depending on what you would like, I like to send a questionnaire to get a feel of what you're looking for, what you would like to book, what you would like to do, along with, this is the fee, this, that, and the other. Once I receive that questionnaire, let's just say, all right, you want to plan a trip for you and a friend. You want to have fun. You don't want to go too long. So I'll probably say, let me send you over to like Riviera Maya or Cancun, something of that nature. I will put you in one of the top resorts that I totally recommend. A lot of the times people always look for excursions. So I do my best to incorporate all of these things within the package that is at a reasonable price, along with, if you need to include your flights. A lot of times clients do their flights on their own because they have credit cards with points, and it's just easier for them. And I'll let them know, I'll guide them, because vendors will raise the price for the flight. Whereas I can tell you, okay, look, book it this way, book it one way this way, book it another way this way, and then it's going to come out a little less. So that's pretty much how I will work it. Once you agree to the terms of like, okay, this resort looks great, these excursions are great,
Mm-hmm.
then I send over a credit card form, which is, encrypted to keep both of us protected and safe. Make the payment, make deposits, and then make payments if you do have the time to make payments.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I definitely also put the website down at the bottom. So if you guys are interested in any of the vacations, or anything like that, and you're doing the whole nine, you're doing the
Yeah,
hotel, the flight,
yeah,
car rental if needed,
yes,
excursions. Okay. So
yeah,
yeah, one stop shop.
yes. One stop shop.
All right.
I'm here to take a lot of that stress off of you. So no
Yeah,
worries.
ideally, right? Because we got to book up flight, then we got to go onto budget and go find that price and what's their
Yes,
best price and shop around. So
yes,
she's really saving you time. She's saving you money. She's saving you the stress. So understanding why there's fees, right? I mean, people don't understand that, like, there's value in what I'm providing you, and You
Absolutely.
don't have to get stressed. You don't have to go and
You-
shop around to 20 different websites. So you don't got to go to the Expedias and the Travelocities,
No.
you
And
know,
then,
where
and especially after COVID, there were so many people that do book through these sites. And guess what? They did not get a refund or not even a piece of money back. Whereas I was the advocate for, I am your advocate. So something goes wrong at the resort. You miss your flight. I will make sure to get you to the right connections to whether you need to file it with an insurance claim to refund you for a hotel stay because your flight was delayed or to refund you for a flight. Whatever that case might be, I'm your advocate to help you so you don't have that stress of making all
so
these phone calls, being on hold, and all
so
that
let me get this
horrible
straight.
stuff.
You're also, if my flight is delayed, you also making those calls for me.
Yes, so if you inform me and you're like, okay, my flight is delayed. I don't know what to do. Um, let's say you were to have to fly down here to Miami to take a cruise. Well, first of all, I wouldn't even have you fly on the day of the cruise, but some people are naive. And
Hmm.
if I book it for you, then most definitely I will be the one that's reaching out to the airlines as well as, okay, if there's not another flight, then this is what you should do. Go over to this counter. We'll go over to Delta and see there's a flight leaving at this time. See if they have an opening. Like that is the things that I do and handle.
Dope. Yeah, no, you doing it all. You have experience, like you've worked for an airline or you worked for a cruise line before, or you learn all this from beginning trial and
No,
error.
I I have not, unless you want to consider my dad being an air traffic controller. Um, I have not. I have not. This is basically, like I said, all in my own experience and starting. But then it comes to I have to take classes. I go to specialist programs and meetings in order to learn more information and provide my clients with the best experience that I can when these issues arise.
See, people don't know that. People don't know. People think you just start this business, you just
No, I don't
home.
Google. I don't go on Google and like, what should I do?
Yeah,
No, I have to take specialist classes in order to provide the services that I provide,
I love it.
and also be acknowledged by these resorts and also these many beautiful countries and different Caribbean islands.
I love it. Yeah, those are things people don't know. And then when you add a price to it, friends and family, this is why you have to pay these prices. All right. 'Cause there's a lot of work that she has to do to go get educated on doing this. It's like going to school, right? Getting yourself
Right. It
educated, and
is.
these companies got to pay you your money. So it's the same
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly.
It's the
Exactly.
same thing. That's so
Yes.
cool. What are some of the moments that you say were so fulfilling for you while you were on this journey of becoming an entrepreneur?
Oh man. Um, you know, I don't ever want to overlook my husband and my girls. I because no one sees behind the scenes of how I feel or how stressed I get. And I'm like, am I not coming across properly? Like, what is wrong? Like, I don't understand. And then, I meet these other agents that have been in it for so long and have like hundreds and hundreds of clients and they book hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And I'm like, but they are so encouraging and they push me. And I think that's the best, just to see them happy. Like, my mom has her own business. Like, she does it and then she still makes the time to take me to practice or make it to this show or recital. And the same with my husband. Like, he sees that I balance this along with still going into the office 2 days a week, and then keeping the house clean, doing laundry, dinner, let's have a dinner, a movie night, a date night. And that, I would say,
Is
is
the fulfilling. Yeah.
mhm,
Um, how important is that work-life balance?
is very important, because sometimes you can get lost. I do get lost in my office. I will end up disconnecting from people And it's not on purpose. It's really not on purpose. But it's very important. You do have to make the time to. It's crucial that you make the time to not just only have with your family, but for yourself. You need that clarity for your mind, and that's the only way you're going to be able to get through that work life balance.
Yeah. I think anytime that you deal with people, and in that capacity, when you deal with
Yeah.
people in that capacity, you definitely got to take that time because it can
Exactly.
be very stressful.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I've actually worked in the airline industry for years. So
Oh,
understanding, and I started really working on the phones, right? Booking a flight for someone. So I hear the travel agents, I hear the customers. So when I see what you're doing, that is not an easy job,
it's
all
not.
right? Some
It's
people can call you, and luckily you probably built the clientele, and at any moment you can actually let go of someone. So you know what? Go find someone else. And I think that's the best part of that, probably, of doing your own thing versus if you're working
yes.
for an actual company, it's like
You
that's your
have to
job.
deal with
Like,
it.
you know what I
Right.
mean?
No,
You gotta deal with
I
it.
let people down gently. I'm like, unfortunately, I don't think I'm the best to handle this situation, but let me direct you to someone. I always
Yeah.
go into my little agent group, like, hey, does anyone wants to take this?
No, that's cool. Okay, so that's another good thing. So you still collab with other agents as well, and
Absolutely.
partner up.
Listen, I am definitely not the type that I wanted to be me, 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 and oh, this person, they have this, they think no, I do not work that way. I am friends with many agents. Some are new, some are fairly just like me, some have way more experience than me, but you know what? We all learn something new almost every other day within our chat, like whether if it has to do with a country or with a cruise line or a special within an airline. I most definitely keep in contact with a specific group of agents that are
That's
pretty
cool.
much like my family. And to be honest, they've been the ones to help me and keep me boosted up. Like, man, you know so much. When I first started, like, how long? I'm like, oh, I've only been doing this for a year. And they're like, what? How do
Yeah.
you know so much? I'm like, I stay up all night. I go through those courses. I'll fly and go to the cities for these meetings, and yeah, I try to cram all that information. But I learn a lot, and it's vice versa for them too. So there are some that there may be countries that I'm not specialized in. I have knowledge, but I will let that client know that I don't have that much knowledge. This is what I know, but if they don't mind, I can direct them to someone that has way more knowledge than me. And that's what I do. And a lot of the times we split that commission because it's like, you know what, I wouldn't have had it because of you.
Yeah.
And typically I'm like, no, you did the work. I just pass it on. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not big on that. But yeah, I'm not the type that I don't want to take the credit. Like, look, no, all I did was lead, or all I did was just guide you. And that's how you develop these relationships and actually clientele too, because I've had a couple that retired and they sent me their clients,
Wow.
so it helped my clientele out.
Yeah, and people don't realize that sometimes you may give something like, say, like you said, I don't need my cut. Like, just take it. And then
Right.
while you do that, three more people just came and
Exactly.
you know what I
Right.
mean? All because God see you give to someone else.
Yes. Absolutely.
So that's really, really, really good. Is there any entrepreneurship background in your family?
Honestly, no. I can't say. When my mother retired, she opened a catering business. But I would say as far as full legit, like full on paying fees, paying taxes,
Doing that yearly
I
paperwork.
believe I'm the I believe I'm the first. My dad was very big on education,
Mhm.
and when it came time to like paying for school, he disappeared. So that's how I end up kind of dropping out.
Mhm.
But like that side of the family, they're like doctorates and PhDs, and they're, how I say, the intellectual people.
Yeah.
So I do feel kind of out of bounds because, like my sisters, they finished college, and I'm like, I feel like I'm like the wild one that did it. But yeah, I am basically the first. And I know my dad, before he passed away, he did express that he was very proud of me. My mother passed away many years before I started. So, well, a couple of years before I started, but I will hope that she would have been proud of me. That generation, they're very afraid. My parents were much
Mhm.
older. They're more so of like, get a degree and go work for someone. So I believe it was just more so of, they don't know what to expect. They're afraid. So it was never taught to me.
Yep.
And my husband, like I said, was the one that, I think you could do it. Like, you do so much, you know so much. And, it's just all in research and
Is he
reading
an
up.
entrepreneur by chance?
My husband is. Yes, he is. He is. He
So
does.
you really have that coach at home,
He
kind of.
does. Yes, he is the coach. He is, because he'll tell me real quick, look, this is what I found. You need to read this. So I'm like, okay.
That is cool. That is cool.
Yes, he is.
And going back to what you're saying about, your family being that uh the people to go to school and go get these degrees, they're only giving you advice off of what they know, because
Exactly.
no one was willing to go take a risk, and you were
No.
the risk. And ideally, as much as you're not in that path, is because you were a risk taker and you wanted to see what the other side was able to provide.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure it's so much more, and you've been using this lately. It's so much more about you, because now your kids get to see that, hey, if I wanted to be an entrepreneur, my mom did it. My
Right.
mom is literally a living testimony of what is to become a businesswoman.
Right.
Or I can go to school because I've also seen my family go to school and be educated that way.
Right.
So I mean, don't count yourself out. You being a risk taker is hard to
It
put.
is. It is.
Like, I'm pretty
But
sure you've expressed people will side eyeing you through this journey, right? When you become an
I
entrepreneur, they're
I
like, "What are
mean
you doing?"
I I mean the older generation, yes. I mean, I've been side eyed since I was a little kid because I was always the black sheep. So, so I was used to it. But when you have someone like my husband, a great partner, as well as supportive friends, sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. And
Mm.
without my husband and a few special of my friends, I don't think I would have been able to do this journey, to be honest.
I'm gonna type on what you just said. That black sheep in the family. I've heard it in my family as well. Probably sometimes even felt that way. Do you felt that it was also reasons why you are so like a risk taker, why you're so different nowadays? Is because that's how they treated you, so you were kind of raised and grew up and like, you know what? I'm different. I already
Yeah,
seen I was different. I'm gonna go do me. Did that play a big factor your early?
absolutely. It did. Absolutely. You're 100% on it. Yes,
So
it
for those that are watching and may have come across that, or maybe going through that, understand that don't mean nothing. At that moment it's heartbreaking, but we don't realize what it's really doing. It's building character.
is.
It's
Yes,
building,
absolutely.
us to be so resilient towards other people when
You
they
are
look at us like
speaking
that.
like how I speak with my friends. You are absolutely correct. Yes.
I felt it, I felt it. I was actually me being adopted. I felt that way. Like, oh my God, I'm being raised so different. But I'm looking at my siblings that I'm sharing a home with, and it's like, and it's happening at home.
Right.
But then when I look at who I am now, and they always like, oh, you're so different. Oh, you're so vocal. Oh, you're so this, you're so that, and it's like I had to. It was almost like pushed upon me to do this
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, growing up, my parents always tried to push a narrative on me and were trying to mold me into something that I was not comfortable, did not want to do. It was very, very hard, very, very hard. And it took me to, as I became a young adult and moved out, to just kind of explore and just know my options. And before, I was working for a doctor. He was willing to pay for my school. He was like, just do it. And I'm like, oh, I want to party. I'm out on South Beach. I'm working these other jobs. I'm living fine. I don't need to make that much money. Of course, my older self now would have been like, you idiot, go, just
Yeah.
go. But I wouldn't be here today. So, I can't really not like what it could have been, because I'm actually content. And yeah, still have my challenges, but I'm glad that I'm the black sheep. I'm still the black sheep.
Yeah.
Wherever that's how I feel. My
Yeah.
friends and family tell me, oh my gosh, no, like, we love you. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. What you say and what you do is completely different things. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. They don't know.
No, I love what you said about I had opportunities at a young age to probably be different than I am today. But you love where you're at today. So all that what could have been is like it was learning lessons at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And you learn from those moments to be where you were at today. And that's what's so beautiful about life is that we've all had opportunities that we didn't take. But
Absolutely.
if we would have took those opportunities, would we have been successful at that moment the way that we're successful today? And the answer is 9 times out of 10, no.
Right.
I look back and I made some stupid decisions, but
Right.
you know what?
Everybody has. No one's perfect.
Yeah, those stupid decisions allowed me to learn from them, and that's the most
Right.
important thing. Make a stupid decision and then learn from it. But if you continue to make that stupid decision, that's a whole nother problem. You know what I mean? But
Right.
I think every stupid decision, and then especially when what age were you when you left home?
I was 18.
So as soon as you were able to, you just like, I'm out.
Literally graduated from high school.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
feel you. Was that something that you always had in mind? Like, listen, when I'm 18, I'm out.
Yes. So, not to get too much into it, my mind was on that probably at the age of 12. Like, I just need to graduate high school and I just want to go away. My plan was to actually go into the military. My father wouldn't let me, and offered to pay for schooling. But then when that got cut off, and then I couldn't get certain paperwork from my mother to try to get financial aid, everything just got tough. So I eventually had to move out, and thanks to shout out to Bashard and his mom Suzette, she had me live with her, and I was doing schooling for a little bit and working like 2 jobs, and then my crazy self one day was in the library, spent the globe, and like, you know what? I need to leave. I just want to be out of Florida. So I closed my eyes, found the globe, and it stopped, and it was like in the middle of the ocean. The closest place it was to was Hawaii. So that's where I ended up going to move to.
No way. You
Yeah.
moved to Hawaii.
Yeah.
How long were you there?
Almost a year. I couldn't take it anymore. I left literally a few months after September 11th. So
Wow, what an experience! And how old were you at that age?
I was 20, just turned 21, or just approaching
Are
21
you a
at
risk
the
taker
time.
for real? She said, "I'm moving to a whole new place. Like, nobody, nothing." What's some of the
Yeah.
challenges that you faced when you were in Hawaii?
Oh, so many. I had to grow up very quick. My support system was not there physically. And of course, back then, some of this generation may not know, but collect calls were a lot. We could not just pick up that cell phone. I had to make those calls after 9 o'clock. And then, the time difference, 9 o'clock, you guys are asleep over here. So that was the first time I encountered racism, like hardcore racism in my face. Like, I remember little incidents when I was young as a kid, but hardcore in my face, I was taken aback. Very hard to get employment. I was even told by a doctor, like, literally, she told me, she said, why are you here? Why aren't you in school? You know too much. I can't hire you. I was like, I would think that's a good thing. But yeah, the only positive thing I can really say is I love the smell of the pineapple. So I didn't live too far from the Dole plantation. So on a really hot day, the scent of the pineapples were awesome. And also you know how you go outside here in Miami, and you know, like how your parents used to say, "Oh, you smell like outside."
Hmm.
Well, you could go outside and you work out. I used to work out, do my runs,
Hmm.
and come back, still smell like I came out the shower. So like it was different. But island fever is real. Because what you're gonna do? Ride to one end of the island, go to the other. So what are you gonna do?
Wow.
So it wasn't like, honestly, after about a month and a half of living there, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't go anywhere. You know, just to get back on the mainland, it takes 5 hours by flight. So yeah, it was a little difficult. It towards the end, right before the 11th, I did end up working for a doctor that would fly me out to California to work for him because he did have a practice in California as well. So I that was my plan to probably move to California, but I got diverted.
Wow. A lot of I'm guessing a lot of learning lessons through that year for you, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't regret any of it.
Uh,
I don't. Like if I had a chance to probably change a few things, of course. But you know what? Like I said, it molded me into what I am
yeah.
today, and it actually helped me, especially raising three girls. That well, now really one because two of them are grown, but it does help because I've experienced some things and I can share. Like, well, I kind of did something like that. It didn't work out so well.
Hmm.
Want to do it? Maybe try this avenue.
Your story is very, very similar. At 18 years old, I left home, and it was something I was ready to go out of my home a long time ago. And
Yeah,
even
me
though I was being sexually abused at home and I was adopted, that was really wasn't it. But it was almost feeling like I was in jail. That's how I would look at
I
it.
know. I know that
Um,
feeling. I
yeah,
know.
and
I went through it too.
I would rather have gone to work. I would rather have gone to school, even though I wasn't the best kid in school. But I would rather go there, and that's where I felt comfortable and I could be me, personally.
Right.
And 18 years old, I would always remember that day like it was yesterday. My mom called me, said something to me. I said, you know what? I'm going home packing my bags. Like it was like you said, it was literally maybe weeks after I graduated. I was already working since I was 15 years old. And just like you, I had a friend. She was a friend I met in middle school that we crazy things back then. I wasn't able to use the house phone. So she would write letters to me, even though we lived probably walking 15, 20 minutes down the street from one another. But she would write letters to me and send me the stamp so I can write her back. So crazy thing. And like you said, I had a friend, and thankful to her still to this day, we're friends. I was living in that house, and her mom, thank her mom as well. She's like, listen, you don't got to pay anything. Just go to school, just, do this. And it just showed me how someone else's family, like you think your family got it all
Yeah.
together until you also see a different side of the family and see that, listen, we all have our own issues in our own families. It's just not being
Right.
spoken about. And I left, and I, had a good old time. Life happened, stuff like that. So when I hear your story, it's very, very similar. And someone else is going to experience this. Someone's going to walk away from home at the age of 18, maybe a little sooner. And you're going to go through a lot of ups and a lot of downs.
Right.
I always say, have fun. You only live once.
Right.
Enjoy that youth because you blink twice real quick
Right.
and you're 30
It
some years old,
goes. Right, right.
um,
We have very similar upbringing. I had that same,
yeah.
exactly what you're saying. It's the same thing that happened to me. So honestly, I would take whatever had happened to me on the outside versus what happened to me on the inside of their home any
Yeah.
day. So
Yeah.
that's why I don't regret anything. After 18 on up, I don't regret
Mm-hmm.
anything because it most
Mm-hmm.
definitely, although some bad struggles happened, but I don't regret anything. It was much happier than being in that house.
Absolutely. And all of it is learning. Life is
Mhm.
learning. Life in itself.
Absolutely.
And what doesn't kill you make you stronger.
Absolutely.
And at that moment that you're able to write your story, write your story. Forget about the past story. Once you walk out them doors and you on to your own life, write your story. Don't let nobody else tell you what to be. Tammy, you is a very living testimony of someone saying, like, that was my past story. This is who I am. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to research it. I'm going to live it. I'm going to, maybe get the good friends, the bad friends, and figure out in between, and go do what I truly, truly makes me happy. And here you are really doing what makes you happy. 3 kids
Yeah.
later, husband, business. Who would have thought that that little girl leaving at 18 years old, this is where she, become comes in life. So that's just, it's cool, that this is where you end up at through the story. And we didn't get too deep into it, but we all know there's a story, right?
Yeah,
Stories that
there is.
that are sometimes even emotional to even get back to speaking about.
Yeah.
um but we're so thankful sometimes, at least I would say for me, I'm very thankful at times what I went through, because I'm really able to help others on this journey. And then you as a parent, you're able to really help your children at a different level
Yes.
that maybe you weren't being helped at. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And being
Yes.
thankful for those moments. And I always say, our testimonies are really to help someone else through their own life and through their own journey.
Hmm.
I love it. I love it to know. What are some of the things that you faced, struggle wise, whether it is in life or in your business, that you would like to share that you felt like you couldn't overcome at that moment, but you overcame?
Yeah, so that would be the year of 2020. Uh, I mean, it did. It really put me in a deep, deep depression. I was actually still trying to recover from a really bad butch foot surgery. I have permanent nerve damage, so trying to manage that, and now I have, it's like an added on depression. It's like I just want to slump into a hole and just disappear and go away, and you know what? Forget this business. Forget this. Just forget everything. Um, that was a challenge. Uh, if it wasn't for my husband and the kids and my friends to give me that encouragement, especially my oldest sister. Uh, I mean, she got on me. I'm the captain of my siblings, but she became captain that that day when we spoke. And she's like, "Look, you smart. Like you'll get out of this. This is just a slump. Like cut it out." Gave me that tough but real love.
Yeah.
And I think with her speaking to me on that, that's what really like, all right, get out here, do what you got to do, how you started from the beginning. And that's what I did. And it just started picking back up.
That's so important that you have something like that, though,
Hmm.
right? Somebody that's real, somebody that loves you even at your lowest times.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always that supporter. Of course, people like us, we tend to just support ourselves. It's kind of
Yeah.
hard to get support or ask for
Yeah.
support.
Yeah.
So it felt good to like, man, my big sister really had talked me out of that.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I definitely feel you. We're one to always give advice, but we'll shut down completely
Yeah.
when it's our time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yes. You get it. You
luckily,
get it.
and I don't know why we do that, but luckily we have people that know us so well.
Right.
It could be your spouse, right? It could be a husband,
Right.
that know you so well that they can read you and just see that you are completely shut off. And
Hmm.
by your maneuver, the way you, like you said, just put yourself in your office and you're just sitting there, just not knowing really what I'm going to be doing right now in this office, but I'm here. And
Right.
it's such a time that we need. But yeah, that's so cool, man, that someone was there to help you when it got to that point in your life. And we get to that point, and
No,
because
we
we're
do.
not vocal.
Everyone. It's
Yeah.
just real good to. It's crucial to have that one person. You gotta have one person. It doesn't even have to be a person. Sometimes it could be your dog.
Hmm.
They
I
sit
love
there, they
dogs.
listen.
Yeah, facts.
So
Can never go wrong with some dogs.
that helps a lot. I do know that helps a lot.
Tammy, you were so nervous. You're 45 minutes into this interview, and we could keep going in reality and talk about your life and success. But I think we really got to know what made you the nominee. We got to see how many years of experience you have in this industry. That it wasn't an easy journey. that life counted you out at a very early age, but you said, nah, this is my life. I don't care what anybody got to say. It's my journey. I'm going to be the risk taker. I'm going to do what's best for me and my family. I'm pretty sure becoming a mother was also that, like, kick it into gear type stuff
Yeah.
for you as well, right?
Right. Yes, it was.
But thank you so much for your time. But there's one question that I definitely want to ask, and I ask every single person that's on the show. And what was that know your worth moment that allowed you to know that I'm worth it? I'm worth so much more than someone ever put on me.
Oh wow. I would say, and I can't say who it is, but when someone very well known reached out to me and actually had a conversation outside of the business, and told me how great I am and how patient I am, and and to keep it up. And when I ended that call, I'm like, did this just really happen?
Hmm.
Like, oh,
Mhm.
like, and yeah, I believe that really gave me the confidence and the boost of
Yeah.
like, I got this.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? You don't want to pay that quote fee. That's fine. There's others that will pay it, and
Yeah.
so
That was that moment.
and that was around the time I had to renew all like the licensing and everything, and I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm there.
That's beautiful. Not that's so beautiful because that little bit of conversation can take us, people like us, a long way because
Hmm.
we didn't hear it enough. And being that black sheep, that definitely could be sometimes what hold us back, and we get so much in our minds that I've
Hmm.
had. I get it. I get it. And I'm so happy that person, and sometimes for someone to even take that time and see that
Right.
in you,
Right.
that's like, oh my
That
God.
meant a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, this person is busy. They have a
Mhm.
busy schedule too. So,
Yeah. I
it
get it.
just everything just like fell into place, fell into like, okay. And then the reminder, oh, pay this tax fee and then do this and do that. And I'm like, all right, yeah, girl, you there, you there. Now to do a little shimmy.
There you go. I forgot actually one question just because I wanted to know. I totally forgot to ask this question, but how did Serena become the name of the business?
Yes, so Soleil is my youngest middle name, and Karina is my oldest middle name. So that's where the Rita comes from.
Mm,
I wanted to incorporate my girls' names, so Solarina. That's
okay, it's
how
a
it came
beautiful
about.
name. Yeah, it's a beautiful name. That's a whole child's name,
My
as my
girls are my
say.
world, so I was like, I wanted to incorporate them some type of way because it was because of them, and of course my husband that told me. So I wanted to incorporate what inspired me, and
Yeah,
that
beautiful,
that's how I
beautiful.
came up with the name.
I'm so happy that I asked that question. Almost forgot. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you so much for your
No,
time.
thank you for the time.
You said shy. You were nervous about not having questions, but
Oh,
you're
watch, I will melt as soon as this is over with. I'm gonna melt right onto the ground.
you're 50 minutes in and you did wonderful. And people that are watching are really going to take a lot from this interview, and just to see someone of your upbringing, and you didn't have to get into detail to know what the upbringing really entailed, and to know where you're at today so many years later, and the Hawaii story, that is so mind-blowing to me, but someone may be experiencing that. So thank you so much, guys. If you want to go ahead and actually check out her Instagram, you guys can go to Serena_vacation. If you can actually go through her link tree there and see her website. You can also see some beautiful pictures on her page. Remember, she does wedding packages, she does destinations, she's anything in Orlando. She's located in Miami, but she also has so much more connections throughout the world.
US,
She's that
yes,
individual, right?
yes.
Then you can also go to her website, which is sorenavacations.com, where you can also just directly message her so she can get you a quote. Remember, you have to pay that quote fee though, because it does take time. There's a lot of experience that she has and knowledge, and she still has to provide for her family. So stop playing, people. You need to pay these fees. Tammy, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much, and I
Likewise.
I
Thank
can't
you
wait
so
to see you at the second annual Spotlight Award.
Yes.
Guys, my name is Efrain Lozada. This has been Know Your TV, and I thank you. I'll see you guys on the next episode.